can make the session more interesting for each one of you. So you can let me know about your experience regarding using Office 365 and other things. So going for Office 365, it's basically on the concept of the cloud, and Office 365 plays a part in it. And we will get to know the concept of the cloud, how to use those features, and what does Office 365 have to do with the cloud, and how does Office 365 fits in. Okay, and what are the players? Who are the players for Office 365? We'll be looking into it. Okay, so Office 365 is made up of basically three components. The first component is link server, second is Exchange server, and the third one is SharePoint server. So link server for communications throughout the company, and Exchange server for mail services, and SharePoint server for collaboration and for the backbone of Office 365 environment. So as an end user, a person would be more interacting with the SharePoint server. Okay, as well as there are some other subscriptions allowed for an end user, like Office Pro Plus, that comes with some of the subscription levels. And then we have SkyDrive, which has now been rebranded as OneDrive by Microsoft. So we have OneDrive Pro or SkyDrive Pro, we get Office 365. So looking for the concept of the cloud. So concept of the cloud means if you want to suppose, okay, if you want to have your own personal gym, okay, and then you'll have to look for many other things. You have to set up in your house, you can say equipment, locker rooms, towels, TVs to watch, contract attorneys, accountants, even air conditioning systems, and science, marketing. Well, there's so much money, and there's a gym down the street that actually already put out all the money for these things. If you sign up for a subscription and let them worry about all this overhead, okay, won't that be more sensible? So, well, that's really the idea of the cloud. If I try to set up all the computer software, security, networking, hard disk authentication, I would go broke. I wouldn't even see the value of my business. So cloud computing is just a new model of old static terminals that communicated with large mainframe computers in the 1950s. So only now they are using the technology of the internet subscriptions and virtual servers all over the world. So let's break it down into a few models of Office 365. So the first model is software as a service. That's what you get with Office 365. Dropbox, Salesforce.com, Adobe, Creative Cloud, QuickBooks, any software that you can get out there on a subscription basis of the web. And then we have platform as service, is usually a rental of hosting service that allow own applications. Microsoft Azure, CloudBees, which host programming platforms, and Google Apps are just a few in the market. Okay, some of the companies of the web host many platforms like AppForRent.com, TheTrend Exchange, SharePoint, Dynamics CRM, Project Server, email and virtual servers and desktops, and finally infrastructure as a service. So this is where you may rent the hardware. You need to accomplish a rollout of things that you couldn't set up yourself. You can choose the hardware platforms, CPU, counts, memory, hard drive space, firewall, and DNS settings. Examples might be Amazon EC2, which has pretty much dominated this space, Rackspace, Google Compute Engine called as GCE, okay, which is catching up with Amazon. Okay, but it's still not run on Windows. Okay, you can look for more of these. Okay, so that's what we have to go for. So this is how we have a data center. So what Microsoft does is it has set up all these data centers throughout their server farms. Okay, they have created servers all over the world to house all the data. So when you see here is one of the nearest in Virginia. So they have created server create just like you see on the back of a truck that are self-contained with water or air cooling, electrical servers, switches and security so that when expansion is needed somewhere in the world, they can just plug in. Office 365 also comes with your 252 or 24/7 support that is all over the world. When you need help, you can call and send in a service request for help. Okay, so that is how it is. Now, Office 365 is not alone, so you have all these services as well. You can look into it later on. Then, looking for Office 365 evolution, it has been happening since the year 2005 when Microsoft acquired a company, okay, which was frontbridge.com. So in August 2005, now Microsoft acquired it, and thereon the evolution has been taking place since then. Okay, for Office 365, but it has been launched in June 2011. The Office 365 had a grand opening of back then, and these are the various components of Office 365 as a product. So everything is on the cloud, which is Office Pro Plus, SharePoint Online, Exchange Online, Lync Online, and the service level agreement says that it will be up. The uptime would be somewhere around the 99.9%. So that's pretty jargoning, or we can say it's a very tough thing to maintain for all these servers at a time. So there are also additional service and additional depending on licenses over there. So we have to pick up the right plan for ourselves. So we have to know whether we are using home versions or whether we are going to use the business versions. So we all need to know there are three kind of offerings for Office 365 business, and they can upgrade pass and what you can do and what you cannot do. So we have to pick and choose the services that are right and customize the cloud. And initially we can go for a trial subscription, and then later on we can go for a full subscription. Then going for it, there is our Home Premium Edition. So you can see that it's not meant for business users. It's meant for, it gives you 5 Office licenses per subscription. So you can install your Office for per subscription. You can install an Office on your home PC, on your mobile, okay, on your notebook, okay. So all these on your child's computer, you can do that. So Skype and calling credits are there, and there is 20 gigabytes of Skype drive space or OneDrive space. Okay, similarly, we have other plans regarding it. You can see this is the Office plan for small businesses. So it is meant for if you have 10 employees to 25 employees, and the services which are being offered to you are SharePoint sites, including web apps, link conferencing, chatting, okay, and just how about it. And then we have small business premium plans for even for 10 to 25 employees, and all these are the features which have been offered to in small business premium plans. Okay, and then we have mid-size business plan. I will show you a demo with mid-size business plan right now. I've just taken a free subscription from Microsoft. Let me just show you how to do that. So there was an Eon subscription right now where we have Active Directory synchronization. So even in mid-size plans we have some things. So even here we have Active Directory, PowerShell, site mailboxes, and professional level administration is possible over here. And then we have E2 plan, which is again not done, which was planned earlier, but it is not there. Okay, and then we have Enterprise E3, which is again an Active Directory synchronization. All these features have been offered to us. So it's advanced link with previous capabilities, business intelligence for SharePoint. So we have voicemail announcing support. And then we can also have in Office 365 along with individualized options. It all depends on what kind of plan we pick up. Okay, so how do we register for an account? We have to look for this. How to register for an account over there. So whatever account we register for, the domain which gets created is .onmicrosoft.com over there. So all that we need to do is, first of all, we need to go to office365.com. So first of all, what I do is I just go to office365.com, and once I'm there, I have to choose the plan I need for me. Suppose I'm choosing for a business, and then you see the plans and pricing, and you will have a set of features. What are plans are there for what kind of persons? Okay, so this is 751 user per month. It is 750 per user per month, and over here it's 300 per user per month. Okay, this one has an annual commitment. So if you can look at it, all these are the features which are there for each and everyone. And we have full installed Office applications on up to 5 PCs or Macs with these two versions. So we can download that on our own systems. So if I go for a free trial, suppose I go for a free trial of this one, I'll just create a login ID for registering over here. Okay, now what has happened is I have already created a free trial, so let me go to another browser over here, because that browser is actually remembering my credentials right now. And see plans and pricing, get through a session, get through one of the trial sessions I want to go for. I then have to enter my credentials over there, what kind of a company I am, what kind of where am I located over here first. So I will go for the country. So many things depend on the country over here, including your mode of payment and other things, as well as where your server is going to be located, in which part of the world. Okay, so let me give it a second. Okay, I need to provide my business phone number, like, fine, and then the name of the company. Suppose this. Next, on the next page, when I here, I have to choose my username. Let it be, and then the name of the company. When it comes to the next one, it will let us know whether it's available or not. It's available over there, and then we need to create a password for it, for my account. So once I click on password and click on next, my account is created. Okay, I've already created an account, wherein you can see that my account has been created over here, and this is the way how my first screen would be. Okay, once I enter my Office 365. So this being the screen which is meant for the Office 365 admin. I told you that all these are the tools which are with Office 365. Email and calendaring, Exchange server. For email and calendaring, we have Outlook, we have Exchange server, we have Lync server for communication, then we have SharePoint server, which is going to be used as a collaboration tool. We have a complete Office suite, and then we have something for social networking over here within the organization, and then we have professional SkyDrive or SkyDrive, or what we call as OneDrive. Okay, right now. So these are the business plans which we were discussing earlier. Now coming to BPOS tenancy. So what is tenancy over here? If you look for the domain account we have right here, it's on Microsoft.com. So the tenant name would be the name of the company .microsoft.com. That's the way even my ID has been created over here. Okay, and then we have Office 365 tenant name over here. So when a tenant name is chosen, the tenant receives specific URLs for the services based on the tenant name. Okay, and that's how we are going to connect to each of these. And so for Exchange, SharePoint, and Lync, all three servers which will be going to play a part over here. We are going to have the same tenant name. You can the tenant name cannot be changed, but your own DNS can be used with Office 365. It opens up with additional options over there. You have to look into it later in detail. Okay, and then with the Microsoft tenant name is taken. So there is a Microsoft tenant sign up wizard over there. So Microsoft will not release the information to the general public as to which tenancy domains are taken. So the organization is your tenant name. The tenant name is equivalent to your organization name when the case of Office 365, and your tenant region is set to show where in the world your company exists. Okay, so that is what is meant by tenant region. So as each country has their own law, so that has to be taken care of. So what does the tenant region determine? It determines the service availability, currency, data storage location. So the closest data center is chosen for them. And then we have data center may not be available in your own country, so that way it is done. And then this is the information which we had opted for while registering for Office 365. Okay, so we have to go for this tenant region right now, and then we have to provide our addresses and details. So the person who signs up for Office 365 is immediately considered as a global administrator. Okay, so we have to remember that. And the global administrators have access to everything of Office 365 for that tenant, no, for that organization. Global administrators are the only admins that can give administrator access to other admins. We can make the global administrators can make other admins for password admin, service admin. There can be so many other admins, and there can be multiple global admins at a time. So it's understandable that if one admin is not available, someone else would be available if he is of our place. Okay, and then we have the best practice to always have an Office on.microsoft account, that is a global administrator. So what is provisioning over here? So we need to look at provisioning. So what is provisioning? So we have to look for allocation of virtual servers, setup of user profile, setup of requested software packages, setup of email accounts. We need to set up Exchange MS record for email. We have to set up Lync calling account. We have to set up SharePoint initial site. So all these things have been set up over there. So once we log in, okay, right at that particular place, the provisioning starts to take place. Okay, so provisioning is a term that describes setting up your account and assigning all the programs that come with your subscription. You will see a lot of setup of your user profile, email accounts, Lync, SharePoint, all happening in the background. So if I go to my SharePoint site, this is my SharePoint. When I click on this particular site, if you look at the look and feel, let us have a look and feel of this particular site. This is my Office 365 Admin Center. How do I come over here? I have, once I log in, all these are the this particular way I can navigate over here. So as I told you, we have Office 365 Admin Center over here. Okay, this is my Office 365 Admin Center, and this is my dashboard for my Office 365 Admin Center. Okay, so you can see my dashboard over here. So my dashboard is giving me more or less the information about the health of the system, like Exchange, Identity Service, Lync. If I have created an account right now, there can be some things like provisioning which would be coming over here. But right now it's not coming out to be any status. It's telling me that there is no issue with this particular service which I subscribe to, and they are working fine right now with the system. If I want to look for details, plans, and history, how were they working for the last 7 days or 8 days. I can see that. And this particular thing, you can see that for my today it's all okay. And if there would have been any kind of service interruption, then this particular icon would appear over there. If we have service degradation, this particular icon would appear over here. Or if a restoring service is going on in the background, we'll get to know more about it. So that's how we'll get to know about this service health. Even that is an option right here in my within my service health section as well. But once I go back to my dashboard contains few shortcuts for it. So this is regarding service health. Now there are few other things as well on my dashboard which I'd like you to see. So this is regarding Message Center. So it's telling me about the latest news from Microsoft for my Office 365. So there's an update feature for save an option for OneDrive, what's new, all these are the messages which I'm getting over here. Okay. Once I'm over here, you can see that there are other admin center. We have an admin center for Exchange over here. So this is my admin center for Exchange. I can even configure my Exchange server. Okay, so this is the admin center for Exchange. You can see my recipients. This is for my mailing service, for which my Exchange server is over here. And next, what we have is admin center for Lync. Lync server is used for communication. Just as we use Skype, we use Lync over here. So we have our own organization over here. We can dial in conferencing, we can meeting invitations, we can send it all over there. Okay, and there are various tools also regarding it. And at the end, we have a SharePoint admin center, which is the main thing for collaboration over here. I can have my own sites, a team site where each and all the team members will be contributing. Just a minute, it's logging in for the first time. That's the reason it's taking time. I'll just configure this particular. I've taken an Office section for this particular section itself. So you can see all these are the new SharePoint sites which have been just provisioned. Okay. Now this is regarding the admin center. Now let's look for the Outlook over here. Once I click on Outlook, this is a mailing service. So I will have to look for the language and then the time zone. I'll have to select. I'm logging in for the first time over here. So I will have to set my login because people may be located in different time zones, but they may opt to go for the same time zone. So you can see that my mail is right here. This is my own email address, own inbox over here, but I don't have emails right now. Okay, and then we have this calendar control, wherein I can have my own calendar. So I can set, you can say for 9, I can set an event over here. I can create an event like a demo session. Okay, I can add a room over here. What I can do is I can create a user ID for the room and I can create an administrator. Suppose I'm working in a corporate environment and I need to book a room over here for a demo session. Okay, I will add a room. Though I don't have a room right now, I have not created a room as a directory in my account right now, but if it was supposed to, I could have created one and other one over here. I could have also given this send the invitation to attendees if there were users inside, but right now I don't have any user as such. Okay, so I'm not able to create any attendance over here. I can start and end date is this one. I can send that as a meeting request, or if it's an online meeting, I can also send that. Okay, and I can send a mail from right here. So that's a big benefit I have with Office 365 calendar. Okay, let us get started right here. Okay, so that is one particular feature of Office 365 calendar. It's very inclusive, it's very interactive. It will send out the mails to your people as well as it will set the reminders for you. It can create many calendars for you. And right here you can see that these are all the people in my contacts. I just created one, so I don't have one. I could have also created for rooms over here. Okay, so the rooms which I was trying to set up for meetings, I could have also created over here. And there's something for news feeds. So this is somewhere, this is a place where a person can get more social about this Access Social Hub. You can see the updates regarding people, documents, and other places, whatever apps you have added onto your system, and then we can have a look at the sites as well over here. And then we have OneDrive. So OneDrive is a place where I can go ahead and upload my sites, upload my documents over here. So I'm logging for the first time, so it's giving me a tool regarding it. So it's continue to OneDrive. So what I can do is I can either create a new document or I can upload one. If I want, I can even keep a versioning over here. Okay, this is how my document is. I can keep a sync with my files over here, and there are files and libraries over here. Okay, same way as I have it in SharePoint, I have it over here. And if I want to in my library, I have my library settings. In my library settings, if I want to keep anything for versioning settings over here, for all my major and minor documents being published over here, I can create a draft. How many major versions are possible? I can keep the check. Okay, for let me keep it as 10 over. I want that my documents will be checked out before editing, so that no other person will be editing at the same time. So all these settings I can do right here on my own documents, which are right here. I can look for permissions. I can even set up the RFC settings. Okay, so this was regarding the OneDrive we are talking about. Next, what we do is we go for sites. This is the same site which we are going to configure with SharePoint, and then we have something called as tasks. So I don't have any kind of task listed out over here. I could create a task over here. Okay, so all these are regarding those particular things. So once I go to my Office 365 Admin Center, you can see that there's something. This is my dashboard. Dashboard is usually giving me this scenario, or you can see a brief overview of what all things are provided over here. Okay. Next is setup, where I can extend my setup for Office 365 to look for hybrid environments over here. I can migrate my email. I can create or set up my directory synchronization over here. I can configure hybrid environments over here. So all these things are possible. Next we have users. I want to look for active users over here. Right now I am the only person who is active user. If I want, I can either bulk add an active user from a particular list I want to. Okay, I can download a sample here. Let me download a sample CSV file. If you just have a look at this sample CSV, how my IDs are going to be added in bulk on my SharePoint site. I'll just have a look at it. Just a minute. I've just downloaded it. It's a server system, so I will have to go to the properties and unlock it. Only then will it be visible over here. So only then it will be over. I will be able to open it. So now I can see that username, first name, last name, display name, okay, job title, department. This is the format in which my documents are. It's a comma separate file as you say it. I think including the mobile numbers. If I suppose I want to upload this very same file, so what should I do? Suppose I want to upload this very same file. I'll browse to the start. Click on next. I may have my own file, but this is just for the demo purpose. So it's telling me that there is an error. Oh, the domain name is not valid over here. And so what I will do is I will just click on, I have to just click on the name of the domain. I have to change that. Right now, the domain is something like this. Okay, that's how we'll go about uploading. I don't have time as such to do much modifications over here. So I won't go much into detail. So that's how we'll go ahead and we'll correct that particular mistake in the file, and then we'll bulk add those files. Okay, that's how we go about doing it. If I want to go back to the Office 365 Admin Center, I'll go there. So users classes, that was the case. How can you add bulk users? Let me just show you how to add one user over here. How to add just one user. I'm just allocating a password for the person, for another person. Now an ID is being generated for him. And let me log in using his ID, which is being generated right now. If I click on my account over here, and then it will be my company's name and dot on Microsoft.com, and then the password which I have set over there. So while it is being provisioned, I have clicked on the sign in right now. It is even being provisioned right now. Taking some time to get created. Just a minute. It's telling me that the account doesn't exist. Okay. So that's because it's getting provisioned right now. It is taking some time to get provisioned. So that's how we are going to add one user over here. Now, if I am logging over here, you can see that it's telling me that to install now. So I get a license to install all these Office on my five of my systems. Okay. I'm logged in using. I'm using a trial version for mid-size business level. So I've got access to all these sites. Okay, depending on my trial, I will have more and more access over there. Oh, meet the new Office Dev Center. It's keeping me stay up to date with Internet Explorer. You can see a message for me, and then also there is a mail for me from Microsoft Services team. So you can see a user account has been created or modified. You can now distribute this information to a user. So a new person has new ID has been created over here. Okay, the ID which I requested now right now, and if I want, I can mail this or forward this to the person who is supposed to log in. I don't know anyone else. I know the login of the person itself. So what I will do is I will go ahead and in this particular window, I will just enter the same credentials which I was trying to enter earlier while the site was being provisioned in some of the browsers. It takes some time to get provisioned. So I've got the mail. It may take time to get provisioned away. Okay, so that's how it is. And I told you that we can download all these things on my own system as well. So the license is also for installing it on 5 of my own systems. Each user can install it on 5 of our own systems. Next, if we go for the admin center again, still getting provisioned over here. So that is the reason I'm not getting able to access that account. So I have groups. I can create a group of all my users over there, and then I have domains. So right now my domain is consult12. On Microsoft.com. I can add more domains over here. I can buy domain over here. Okay, and then there's something called as billing, where it's telling me about my subscriptions. Okay, when does this subscription expire? So I created today, so it's valid for 1 month. This Office is a mid-size business trial. It's meant for 10 to 25 users. Okay, so that's how it is. It's telling me about it. And then we have licenses. Again, same. I have assigned two. One is for myself and the other one is for Anchor. So that's how it has been assigned. We have external sharing over here. So all these things I can share with my link, calendar, sites, sharing overview. We have service settings. So I can edit this password expiration policy. And this one is 14 days before users are notified that the password will expire. So suppose this is my password expiration policy that 90 days it will change. Suppose I want to keep it for 180 days. Okay. And I want the notification 30 days before it's getting expired. So I can keep the settings also that. It can be changed by that way itself. And then we have set of reports. The report of my server, how is it getting performed? Regarding the link, active users, who are the active users? So once I know that few people are not actively using it, I can use those, I can deallocate the link services for those user IDs and give that to some other person. Okay, that's what I can do. And then we have service health, I showed you earlier. There is support center for overview and service request. You can make a service request for something. Like if I want what kind of issue I have regarding support or technical support, this is meant for the Office 365 people over there for Microsoft team. So what kind of information I have, and this service area is it. Okay, which service is with regarding which service do I want the service. Okay, and what is the problem area. So that can be taken care of in the service request itself. Now going back to Office Admin Center. Okay, we can also have purchase services. We can over here you can see that there is something of purchase services. You can see that I can purchase, I can add, and I can purchase per user per month. So 300 rupees is giving me enhanced support for Microsoft Dynamics marketing. And then for Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online Professional, this is the rate. I can purchase each of these services for my center over here. Fine, just a minute. Hashim, you can see that, you can check that. I believe it has been recorded with the coordinator you need to talk to. So someone for skill-wise consulting will be able to help you. Please ask the coordinator about it. Okay, so this is how we have to look for this. This right now the admin center we are looking into, and I told you that these are the purchases which you can make over here. Okay, so Office Living Business, you can, the per user license per year is 5,400. So the license which we are doing it right now. Okay, so we have a trial business. I can even go for purchase of this one. Okay, now let's come back over here. This is again the message center regarding what is the Office center stay up to date with Office center we talked about earlier, and these are the tools. Okay, we can look at more of these tools later on, but right now it's not required. Okay, and now coming back to users, let us see whether this has been provisioned. Let us go to active users. So I can see that Ankit Sharma has been provisioned over here. I can click on his name. I can see the details about him. I can see the settings regarding him. Okay, choose the admin role, whether I want him to be an admin. Okay, suppose I want this person to get an admin role. Then whether he will be a global administrator, password administrator, what kind of a person administrator it will be. Let me give him a global administrator role. Okay, so not now. Let me now give him an administrator role. I will show you later on. Okay, once he is allowed to log in. And what kind of licenses do I want him to say? Suppose I want him to have licenses regarding Office, Exchange, SharePoint. If I want to deallocate, I can do even that. There's also something for Office Online. That means there is no need for Office to be installed on your own system. The Office will be loaded in my browser itself. Okay, so that's how it is possible. Okay, and then we have email address. If I want to make any kind of edit into it, I can do that. Because one person may have multiple email addresses. Okay, and there are more to it. I can look for the edit link properties for this particular user itself. If I want that I should not give him an Office 365 application, or if this person is not very active with link account, I can deactivate that link online account. Okay, we can say that, and now this person won't be able to use the link. So that's how it will be. Okay, so let me just log in with. Let me see if I'm able to log in right now. It's not even allowing me to. Seems to be correct. You can do it for the things as well. So once I click on all these, even you have options for reset password, edit. You can what all assigned licenses are over there. I can edit even that. So that is there for each and every user. I can do that because I have only 25 licenses or for 25 users. This particular version is valid, so that can be taken care of. Okay, so in a one-hour session, that's all I could have covered. It was just an overview regarding Office 365, how this Office 365 looks like. Okay, also let me just show you how the SharePoint site can be integrated into this Office 365. So once I am here in my Office SharePoint site, you can look into it. This is my space. It is my site over here. Of my SharePoint. This is the search configuration over here. This is the SharePoint site, and this is the public facing site. So I'm loading this SharePoint site for the first time right now. So my Microsoft account which has been created in the stack. So that's how it is for my site. It has been done over here. So this is my team site over here for the company, and I can create my notebook, documents, and all these things can be taken care of for my company over here. So this is the public facing site. Okay, so this is just an overview of what all things are there. There is a lot of capability which gets added over here. So if we go back to the SharePoint site right now. If I want to look at the site content, I can add an app as we did earlier with SharePoint 2013. If I would have worked on SharePoint 2013, I can add a document library or a wiki page over here, or a contact list, or an announcement, or a calendar also on this particular SharePoint site for my company. Where I will have all the announcements. So this calendar has been created over here. Fine, so there are many capabilities to the SharePoint site which gets over here with on Office 365. Okay, so this is also one of the key highlights of Office 365. This is going to be a collaboration portal where all the site team members can come and work on it. Okay, so that's all about it. So in a 1 hour session, that's all I could complete. Okay, I hope it was a good one for you to have a start the understanding of your SharePoint or the Office 365. So hopefully we can meet next time and we can know something more about it. Okay, so that's all about it.